You are listening to bangradio.net.
Hey, Steve Mayeda, and welcome to today's episode. Right now, what you see behind me is actually Hawaii Kai Harbor on the island of Oahu, and I am actually standing on the hill or the mountain of Hawaii Kai and enjoying the sun. A little bit overcast, but in today's episode, we are talking about failure, rejection, and things that you don't like. These are all things that we don't want to see. We run from them, we hide from them, we try and avoid them at all costs. But one of the keys to the sexual life, one of the keys to what we teach here and what we express and how we develop the social dynamic to be the better man, because it's about being. It is about being able to live in those situations, is finding the beauty in those moments. For years, we've run from our fears with women. We've run from our rejection from sex, our fears of success, whatever they might be. But within that, if we explore it, if we learn to live it, we can find a beauty, a peace, and a lifestyle that, man, is sexual life. That's what we're diving into here. And if you like this video that you're about to see, that was shot in San Antonio just a few days ago, we've been doing a little bit of traveling, please subscribe, pass on the good word. Sexual life is something to be proud of. You, your pursuit of it, you is representing yourself as a man is something you should never be ashamed of. The more we hide from it, the more we don't associate with it, then the harder it is to really be that man who can express it. All right, let's get into this video. We have these concepts that in order to be a man, we've always got to be successful. We've always have to be the alpha male. We have to be the man with ambition. We have to be the man who is always moving forward in a positive light of how, society views that. And one of the key concepts that we practice here at the Sexual Life, because sex is an openness, it's a pure emotion. You were born to do it. You were born to be social. You were born to be sexual. There's no shame in it. And when it comes to those open feelings, there's nothing blocking them. Love, an open feeling. Your sexual urge, an open feeling. What you feel when you connect with somebody and have empathy is an open feeling. And the more we have blocked in front of us through different archetypes, ideas of different myths about how a man is supposed to be, the less we can be that expression. And the sexual life is all about expression, how you can find the expression within you. And one of the things that I love to do, one of the things that I love to think about, one of the things that I don't necessarily love when they happen to me, but I realize they have been the thing that has shaped me throughout my entire life. And that is to look at how I am when I am alone, when I am rejected, when I fail, and when I'm around something I don't like. Those four things are some of the greatest windows to you taking, to you looking at who you are and what you need to do, what needs to be changed, and what really your expression is. I was thinking about this because when I'm alone, when I don't have external validation coming from, all around me saying that my life is good, my life is bad, my life is whatever, it is in terms of the image of somebody else, I stop making it about that and start making it about what I feel. And a lot of times for men and women, we can't stand being alone. We can't stand that. Why? Because we need that external validation. We need that thing, that form of status, that piece of clothes, that image, what other people say in order to give us our value of our identity. And that is such a horrible thing. Imagine trying to have a social life, imagine trying to have a sexual life with that. Imagine connecting with somebody. We do this all the time. We make friends, we build bonds, we do business, we make love, we fuck. We build an image of who we are based on never knowing who we are, being dependent upon other people. And man, the only way that we're going to find fulfillment in that is if we can express ourselves and exchange back and bring the loop back around. Of course, we're supposed to be affected by people, but we need to know who we are first. That's a great place to start. And then I think about the times when I get rejected. When I go out and I try, a lot of times I could be approaching a woman, whoa, we could never have that. Men, and I hate this about the coaching industry, is we can never show our flaws. It's such bullshit. It is such a dishonest way of presenting the tool of learning, a brotherhood of men. You realize that You know, when men come together, when people come together, men and women come together, and they can be honest and they can connect and be their real selves, the only answer is to be the real self. That when they do that, that's when all the greatness of humanity comes about. That's when we feel love. That's when we feel connection. But we're so afraid of rejection. We're so afraid of what might happen in that situation, or when we have been rejected, that we're afraid to even look at how we act when we're rejected. You know what happens when I'm rejected? You know what happens when I don't get the response that I want when I try and connect with somebody, whether it's in business, whether it's in love, whether it's in connection? Man, I panic. I feel terror. I feel fear. I feel a lack of self-worth. I feel agonizing pain. But where my true expression of masculinity can come out in, where my true expression of Steve, my true expression of me comes out of, is when I can calm that. I can relax within it. I don't shut the door to it. I don't run from it. I don't deny it. But I allow it to have its voice. I allow it to stop screaming. And I can go about and do my business. And that can be difficult to do, especially when, you aren't getting your needs met. When you are a little bit in starvation. When you are not having all the things go your way. And then when I fail, very similar to rejection. But when I fail, when I put myself out there, when I move myself into the world and I try and express myself, and it doesn't work out the way I had planned, very similar to rejection, but rejection is this personal thing when I, go up and, let's say I talk to somebody and they turn me down. But failure might be I end up broke. It might be that I try as hard as I can to make something and I cannot do it. It could be when I end a relationship. And see, nobody wants to talk about that. How can we listen to men focusing on being better men while excluding that from our lives, while excluding the real life failures that I may have today? What's up, Daisy? Daisy's my oldest dog. She's about 14 years old. And believe me, 5 years ago, let alone 10 years ago, if you let her out in this wilderness, she wouldn't come back for 3 days. But the other dogs stay a little bit more loyal. But we are refusing to look at that failure. We're refusing to look at how we don't succeed. And we think that in order to be a man, in order to be somebody who has respect, who has determination, we could have never failed. And this is bullshit. Where I fail, where I give up, where I quit, all these aspects of our self, our decision making, our process, our expression, man, those are part of us. Those are more real than the image that you're trying to hold on to. And the last thing that I want to talk about is how we act with the things that we don't like. And the things that we don't like, the things that rub us the wrong way, when my dogs are going crazy and I can't get a hold of them, when Maria is causing problems that I'm perceiving in my life, when I am not as successful as I would like to be, when I get turned down at an event that I was expecting to go to, when I'm in a restaurant that's too loud, when I'm around things that I don't like, when things are rubbing me the wrong way, how do I act? How am I able to move into that expression? And really think about this, because if you take some time, and I love this about meditation and self-exploration, doing the different things that we do with the sexual life when we work in a group of men, is because we are fucking real about this shit, is that when I can look at how I failed, when I can look at how I was rejected, when I can be honest about it with a group of people, when I can look at how I act with the things that I don't like and what I think when I'm alone, and I can be okay with that, I stop having to be an archetype. I stop having to be fake. I stop having to be a model of success. I stop having to be a guy that is always successful in relationships. I stop having to be a guy that can always make the approach work, that can always live the hero's journey, and that I could just be me. And guess what? These ideas of being a hero, they're man-made. These ideas of being alpha, they're man-made. These ideas of what I'm supposed to be are made by a society and culture that doesn't really care about you. You're a part of it. But the real virtues of what you have, your pride, your ambition, your sex drive, your social abilities, your desire to connect, your desire to have empathy, your desire to do better for yourself right now, to improve in your life, are of nature. You were born to do it and they were within you. When I can move all that shit out of the way, when I can move all those supposed to be's, could've, woulda, shouldas, then I can be an expression. Then I can have the pure emotion of love. Then I can have the pure emotion of sex. I can have the pure emotion of expression. And when I can take that expression and connect it to the world, man, that's where I get all the fulfillment of all I'm looking for. We have a massive, massive group of lonely people, undersexed people, people who are frustrated and people who are in pain. And guess what? If you can start with your expression and you can start with learning a simple skill of how to say hello and connect that to the world, man, you'll move into a better place.